Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey, we're here today at Brigade Firearms. This is the owner, CEO of the Brigade Firearms. This is Gus Blazquez. And Gus, how did you arrive at the name for Brigade Firearms?
Well, Brigade came from my father's brigade.
Okay, and
which is called Assault Brigade 2506.
Okay.
And this was the brigade that went into the CIA-backed brigade that was used in the Bay of Pigs invasion. And some of the guys that were on the brigade teams ended up also in the Belgian Congo, fighting communists over there, and Bolivia, fighting communists over there. And they fought, they were a right hand for the CIA in order to push against the communist ideology. Let's just say that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's where the name actually came from.
The name, the brigade part of the name came from there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, from my father.
So how long have you guys been in business?
We've been here for 10 years.
10 years.
10 years since we incorporated, and we started off making parts for other customers. We started making upper receivers and smaller parts for different OEM companies.
Okay.
And then we decided to, brand the company and came out with our own product. And it's history from there.
Fantastic. So can you show us some examples of what you guys make here?
Sure, let's go.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir. So what is this area of the operation here?
This is the office area, accounting, conference rooms.
So this is like the important area where all the money goes.
Sales.
All right, fantastic. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you.
And I see you have a picture of Air Force. Was this Air Force One here?
Yes.
When was this? Back in the 60s or 70s? It had to be in the 70s.
70s.
Yeah. That's okay. Cool. Fantastic. Love the picture.
This is the inventory area that we have, where we stock all our machine parts and our stock to build the rifles.
Okay.
This is a quality control where we check every single part that's machined here is brought through, cleaned, polished, and QC'd before they go into lasering for the serial number and the logo and all that. And then from there it goes into Cerakoting. All our parts are Cerakoted compared to anodizing. The reason why is because you can't really get anodizing, like if you have an extrusion, you have forgings or you have billets. What happens is the anodize does not adhere to the same tone of color between one type of aluminum and the other type of aluminum.
So you end up with two different colors that don't match on the same gun.
Exactly. You end up with two different colors. And what happens is, in order to cure that, we went ahead and said we're Cerakoting every single gun we have. So every single gun that comes out of Brigade is Cerakoted 100%.
Okay, so Cerakote is like a ceramic.
It's a ceramic finish where they bead blast the part, and then they clean it, and then they go in and do Cerakote paint. You can do it in multicolors, and then it goes into an oven for about a couple hours at 280 degrees or something like that. And then when it comes out, it's ready to be assembled.
What is this area we're in now?
Okay, this is the barrel area where we machine our barrels. We machine our barrels from barrel blanks. They come in. This is a 9mm blank.
Okay.
And it's a 416R stainless. All our barrels are 416R.
Okay. So what area are we in now? What do we do here?
This is the barrel area. So here's where we machine all our barrels. This machine, it profiles the ends of the blank, does a crown, and then we bring it over to here. Since the barrel blank does not have, the outside, the OD and the ID are not concentric.
Right.
So in order to make it concentric, you got to put it in with a compensating chuck.
Right.
Compensating chuck has a tip, a point right here in the middle, where we align it with this point, and we profile it. And once we profile it, the machined area is already concentric with the ID.
And how close is it to perfect on that? What's the tolerance on it?
It's less than 1,000th of an inch.
That's fantastic. That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's a tight tolerance.
And your quality control is really good here.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that you stay up on technology with your machines.
Yeah, and our barrels are very, very accurate. This came off that other machine,
Right.
where we did the profiling, and as you can tell, you know, the profiling, we use a steady rest for the longer barrels. Shorter barrels, you don't need a steady rest. But the only part that's not concentric on this barrel is this part, which was where the chuck was holding it.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
steady rest, for those of you that are not familiar with machining, is a rest that's on the center of the barrel that supports the center of the barrel. As the cutting bit goes past the barrel, if you don't have that rest, the barrel will actually bend a little
It'll
bit.
flex.
Yeah, and your profile will have a bulge in the middle of it. So what that steady rest does is it prevents that from happening.
You really can't see it with the naked eye, but it's there.
But it's there.
And the steady rest is this apparatus back here. That's a steady rest where the barrel runs in here, like this. So once it comes off that machine, it goes into this machine and it'll go in like this on this machine. So once it goes in, now we do the machining of the barrel extension, because these are 9 millimeters, and we do the chambering on the barrel.
Fantastic. So when you cut the chamber, is that programmed into the machine, or do you use like a go, no-go gauge on that?
You always use a go, no-go gauge. But I mean, the chambering is with a rougher and a finisher reamer.
Right.
So you use your rougher first, and then you come in with the finisher, maybe to take off maybe 1,000th of an inch off the chambering.
So this is actually a complicated process that you do that gets this thing just where it has to be so that the gun is more accurate.
Exactly.
Okay, so Gus, what is this machine here for?
Well, this machine is a Kitamura horizontal machine, where this machine is the one we use for our lowers. So we machine them from a forging, in this case, which this is already, you know, partially done, but I mean the forging is solid all the way around, and it weighs approximately about 5 pounds, 4.5 pounds.
What type of metal is it?
7075 T6 aluminum, and then you'll come in and do another process where it opens up the mag well and stuff, you know. So these are partially done, and then the end product is here.
Wow.
And from here, we still haven't opened the fire control group pocket. We do it in a different machine.
Okay.
Where we do the serialization and we do the pinholes and select.
So being that this is all computerized and programmed into the machine, all of the little holes and nooks and crannies that are put into this are all exactly the same.
Yes.
They're going to be right in the same place.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense. So where are we now?
This is another machine, another Kitamura machine, horizontal, where we machine the upper receiver. So this is the forging of an upper receiver that finishes off to an upper receiver.
Look like that. That's
You can feel
amazing.
the amount of weight that comes off the machine is pretty high.
We saw some barrels earlier that had the metal shavings in it, and that's how you dispose of. Do you recycle those metal shavings?
Yes.
So that'll get melted back down and put into a new building.
Exactly.
At some point.
Exactly. We send it off for recycling.
Fantastic. Yeah. So there's really very little, if any, waste.
Yeah.
Okay. Something I wanted to bring up real quick before we get started is just now, before we turn the camera on, Gus picked up these guns and physically inspected to make sure that there was no ammunition in the gun. I cannot stress enough that when you're dealing with a firearm, especially when you're doing show and tell like we're going to do here, You want to be absolutely certain it's unloaded and then still treat it like it is loaded. Don't point it at anybody. Remember, always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to use it. And always keep the gun unloaded until you're ready to use it.
Yeah.
So, Gus, so tell us
My father's famous words, unloaded guns are the ones that kill people in accidents.
It's absolutely true.
Because they think they're unloaded, and they pull the trigger, aiming at the person or near the person, and the round goes off, and there you have your accident.
Yeah, so it's not something you ever want to relax your thinking on your gun safety. You always want to keep your mind on where it's going. Always, yeah.
Okay.
So sorry to interrupt you. I just really wanted to bring that up.
BM9s.
Okay. So
BM9, we started doing the BM9s with a billet configuration. The billet configuration obviously takes a lot more time to machine compared to a forging. It takes like probably 3 times more time. Because you have to machine all the surfaces, compared to a forging, you only have to machine the interior surfaces. And these guns are very accurate.
Is this considered a pistol?
Both of them are considered pistols.
Okay.
And we also have them in the rifle configuration,
Okay.
which is a 16-inch. This is our configuration.
Okay, so this is the rifle version.
Yes.
So
We did a, how do you call that,
Collab.
a collab with Strike Industries.
Okay.
So this one has all the Strike Industries gadgets on it,
Okay.
and parts, which looks very nice. I mean, ambi all the way around,
Right.
and a charging handle, everything.
Well, it's a beautiful gun.
It's a pretty gun, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is our 16-inch version. Plus, it has our match trigger on it as well.
Okay. So your barrels are all match grade barrels, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's fantastic.
It's going to shoot below a meter of angle at 100 yards. So it's going to be a tight grouping at 100 yards.
So it's going to be a better quality barrel?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right.
Because of the tolerance it has, it's very, very tight tolerance on it.
Okay.
So they do shoot very well. These guns, even the 5 inches, I mean, I've heard, 3-inch groups at 100 yards with a red dot.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And the same gun shooting puppets at steel puppets at 240 yards with a 147 grain Sierra hollow points.
Okay. So this has no trouble feeding hollow points either.
No.
Which is great, yeah. There are some guns that are very picky about the ammunition you put in.
Well, there's a lot of guns that are picky. I mean, all PCCs are picky. I mean, you can't just shuffle any type of ammunition in there because they will have a hiccup. Because not all the ammunition is the same length and everything. The shape of the bullet is different, and that could cause hiccups. So once you find out which one's the one that your gun likes and that shoots the best and that shoots accurately, then that's the one you stick with.
That's the one you use, right?
Yeah. Especially for defense.
Right. Right. That's fantastic. So that's the BM9.
That's the BM9.
That's a sweet gun. I'd like to have about 10 of them, I think, but I think my wife would probably beat me over the head with it.
Yeah, should grab one of these. These all use the Glock magazine as well.
That's good to know.
So, not all variants of the Glock magazine will work on this gun or any PCC. The reason why is because they're not made to the exact dimensions as the Glock OEM.
Right.
So we use Glock OEMs, we use ETS magazines, which are very well, the transparent ones.
Okay.
They work very well with this gun.
Yeah, my cameraman has a Glock Model 21, and he put an aftermarket magazine release in it. And the only thing that'll work in it is the Gen 3 factory mags. Nothing else works.
Yeah.
Just won't hold in the well.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com.